Battlestar Galactica Deadlock is a deep dive into space warfare where you command the fleet to defend the 12 colonies against a relentless Cylon assault. Set in the iconic Battlestar Galactica universe, it combines turn-based strategy with real-time resolution, creating intense tactical battles that require careful planning and adaptability. The game's core strength lies in its layered combat system, where ship positioning, loadout choices, and flanking maneuvers make or break each engagement. You'll be managing resources, building fleets, and outthinking the enemy in a campaign filled with cinematic space battles. With its rich lore integration, Deadlock offers both a rewarding single-player experience and a compelling multiplayer mode. XCOM Chimera Squad is a unique twist on the classic XCOM formula, set after humanity and aliens have achieved a fragile peace. Players control a specialized task force in City 31, aiming to maintain order and counter threats from factions that oppose the new peace. The game introduces a new breach system, where your team bursts into rooms and the action slows, allowing you to pick off key threats. This adds a fast-paced, tactical element, but makes gameplay feel different from traditional XCOM. Instead of the permadeath typical of the series, each character is distinct and brings unique abilities to the team. The absence of permadeath and the streamlined mission structure can feel like a departure for XCOM veterans, yet it opens up room for creative combos and tactical flexibility with preset characters. While some players may miss customizing their squad from scratch, Chimera Squad's character dynamics and smaller mission scale offer a refreshing, more accessible approach to turn-based tactics. Battletech is a standout in the tactical and strategy game space, offering intense turn-based combat set in the MechWarrior universe. The game throws you into a gritty, futuristic civil war where you command a team of massive battle mechs as a mercenary squad. Each mission demands careful planning and strategic positioning. You have to account for things like terrain, mech heat management, and weapon range, which all add layers of depth to each battle. The game captures the high-stakes nature of managing a mercenary company. If a mech or pilot takes severe damage, the repairs and healing can be costly and time-consuming. Customization is also a big draw, as you can modify your mechs with different weapons and gear, giving flexibility in how you approach missions. But be prepared for a slower pace. Between long load times and detailed unit management, you'll need patience. Battletech is ideal if you enjoy tactical complexity and are okay with its slower, deliberate gameplay. Marvel's Midnight Suns combines tactical gameplay with a Marvel storyline, bringing a fresh, card-based combat system that stands out from traditional strategy games like XCOM. You play as the Hunter, a customizable hero and demon hunter, joining a unique mix of Marvel characters, including both well-known Avengers like Iron Man and niche heroes like Nico Minoru and Magic. Combat revolves around drawing cards that represent powerful abilities, creating a dynamic, puzzle-like experience as you chain attacks, use environmental props for damage, and position characters strategically. Unlike XCOM, each attack is guaranteed to hit, which lets you focus on tactics rather than hit percentages. Outside of combat, the game leans into RPG elements, allowing you to build friendships with each hero and explore the Abbey, a mystical base filled with secrets. This side of the game is a bit more relaxed, with storylines, side quests, and character interactions that echo the camaraderie found in games like Fire Emblem. The mix of strategic depth and immersive storytelling gives Marvel's Midnight Suns a distinct identity that Marvel fans and strategy enthusiasts can both appreciate. Gears Tactics is a refreshing twist on the Gears franchise, transforming its classic action into a strategic, turn-based experience. Set in the Gears of War universe, this game follows Gabe Diaz as he leads a small squad against endless waves of Locust enemies. What sets Gears Tactics apart is its focus on aggressive, forward momentum, rewarding players for risky moves like executing downed enemies to regain action points. This mechanic encourages players to think offensively, chaining skills, and attacks to clear hordes in a single turn. The game's 5 classes, Sniper, Heavy, Vanguard, Scout, and Support, each bring unique abilities, pushing you to build a balanced team for tactical synergy. While the open, non-grid-based maps allow for precise positioning and make for thrilling gameplay, the campaign does become repetitive with its linear structure and repeated objectives. Gears Tactics combines satisfying action with strategic depth, making it a standout for fans of both the Gears series and tactics games. StarCraft II: Legacy of the Void wraps up the epic StarCraft II trilogy, focusing on the Protoss faction as they battle to reclaim their homeworld and confront the ancient evil, Amon. You play as Artanis, the Protoss hierarch, commanding the massive Golden Armada in a desperate bid to unite the Protoss factions and fend off Amon's forces. The campaign's scale is immense, with cinematic storytelling and missions that challenge you to think strategically with new units and technologies. The game adds unique mechanics, like the Spear of Adun, a powerful Protoss ship with abilities you can deploy mid-battle, offering tactical advantages and flexibility. Multiplayer introduces fresh units and modes, including the Cooperative Allied Commanders and the highly praised Archon mode, where two players share control over a single base, making it accessible to both new players and veterans. This standalone expansion is a fantastic end to StarCraft II, blending intense real-time strategy with an engaging, character-driven story. Halo Wars 2 brings a fresh layer to the Halo universe by delivering real-time strategy gameplay instead of the traditional first-person shooter. Set in 2559, the game centers around the battle between the UNSC forces and the Banished, led by the fierce brute warlord Atriox. Players take command of familiar Halo units like Spartans, Warthogs, and Scorpions, focusing on tactics and positioning to outsmart opponents across a variety of maps and modes. One standout feature is the Blitz mode, which introduces a card-based system for deploying units, blending RTS with elements of collectible card games. This unique mechanic adds a fresh twist, making battles fast-paced and accessible for quick matches. The game also offers various multiplayer options, including skirmish and deathmatch, enhancing its replayability. With its intense battles, strategic depth, and ties to the Halo lore, Halo Wars 2 is an enjoyable choice for both strategy fans and Halo enthusiasts looking to explore a different side of the series. XCOM Enemy Unknown is a classic turn-based strategy game where you lead a team tasked with defending Earth from an alien invasion. As the commander of XCOM, you recruit, train, and upgrade soldiers who each develop unique skills over time based on their class, like snipers with long-range capabilities or heavies equipped with rocket launchers. The game shines with its strategic depth. Each decision matters, and losing a soldier is permanent, which makes every mission intense. You also manage XCOM's base, balancing resources to upgrade weapons, research alien tech, and launch satellites to monitor alien activity globally. The mix of tactical combat and base management paired with a challenging difficulty makes XCOM Enemy Unknown one of the most rewarding strategy experiences even a decade after its release. This game is for anyone who loves the thrill of high-stakes decisions and the satisfaction of careful planning under pressure. StarCraft II: Wings of Liberty remains a top-tier RTS that brings an iconic space-based conflict to life between the Terran, Zerg, and Protoss factions. The campaign follows Jim Raynor in an engaging story filled with intense missions, each loaded with unique objectives, from rescuing civilians to collecting resources and defending strongholds. StarCraft II is not just about building and conquering. It's about mastering tactics and adapting to constant shifts on the battlefield. The single-player campaign stands out with units and mechanics you won't find in multiplayer, making it feel fresh and strategically deep. The game's multiplayer mode is particularly noteworthy with its finely tuned balance and a competitive community that remains active to this day. Whether you're a newcomer or a veteran, StarCraft II provides a satisfying experience with a progression that feels rewarding. While the graphics have aged, the gameplay mechanics are still crisp, and Blizzard's dedication to updating and maintaining the game helps it hold a prominent place among RTS classics. XCOM 2 is a fantastic blend of high-stakes tactics and deep strategy. Set in a world where aliens have taken over Earth, you lead a resistance group using the Avenger, a mobile base that adds a strategic layer as you balance resources, recruit troops, and research powerful tech to counter an ever-evolving enemy. One of the game's highlights is its turn-based combat, where your squad faces random, procedurally generated maps. The combat is challenging, requiring a mix of careful planning, positioning, and a bit of luck. Your success often hinges on taking calculated risks. One of XCOM 2's most thrilling mechanics is its new stealth feature, allowing you to ambush enemies strategically. You also face a persistent Avatar project countdown, keeping you constantly on edge and making every decision count. With a rich variety of enemies and intense difficulty, this game provides endless replayabilities, even if it's prone to occasional bugs or animation glitches. Overall, XCOM 2's unforgiving tactics, resource management, and powerful storytelling make it a must-play for strategy fans. Shadow Tactics: Blades of the Shogun is a brilliant stealth-based tactics game set in feudal Japan, where each mission is a puzzle requiring careful planning and precise execution. You control a diverse team of characters, including a samurai, a ninja, and even an old sharpshooter with a pet tanuki, each with unique skills that let you tackle missions from different angles. The game's standout feature is its Shadow Mode, where you can plan synchronized moves for your team, setting up elaborate ambushes to take down enemies in one coordinated strike. However, this mode can be tricky as it doesn't pause the game, meaning you'll need solid timing. The level design is complex, yet visually captivating, offering multiple paths to victory and encouraging replayability. Snowy landscapes, dimly lit villages, and vibrant palaces provide beautiful backdrops while adding to the tactical challenges, like leaving footprints in snow that can alert guards. Frequent quick save options make experimentation easy, allowing players to test strategies and adjust as needed, which is great given the game's difficulty. Overall, Shadow Tactics combines challenging stealth mechanics with a unique storyline, making it a must-play for fans of tactical strategy and samurai-era aesthetics. Total War: Warhammer 3 is a grand finale to the Warhammer trilogy, bringing players into a sporadic world full of tactical depth and vibrant faction mechanics. The campaign centers around the bear god Ursun, captured by the Chaos Daemon Be'lakor, with players working to conquer realms and unlock powerful artifacts to eventually reach him. Each faction, from Kislev and Grand Cathay to the varied Chaos Legions, comes with unique abilities and motivations, making every playthrough distinct. The game's Realm of Chaos mechanic introduces portals that open every 30 turns, leading players into chaotic mini-campaigns. Each realm feels like a self-contained dungeon with unique challenges. Tzeentch's labyrinthine maps and Nurgle's disease-ridden lands keep gameplay fresh. Success requires strategy, from balancing economy to shoring up armies, as rival factions race to the same goals, adding tension and pacing to the campaign. With cinematic battles, rich lore, and endless replayability, Warhammer 3 captures the high fantasy thrills and strategic complexity Total War fans love. Hearts of Iron 4 is a complex grand strategy game that lets you command a nation through the chaos of World War II. Unlike many strategy games, it dives deep into the realities of high-level military planning and the logistical struggles of war. You can lead any country, build an army, and shape your nation's politics to impact the course of history. It's a blend of historical accuracy and what-if scenarios where you can experiment with alternative paths, like turning the United States communist or re-establishing monarchies in Europe. The gameplay can be intense, with highly customizable division templates, production chains, and a national focus system that allows unique strategies for each country. While you plan offensives and manage resources, you'll also face tough decisions around diplomacy, espionage, and trade. The game's AI, however, can sometimes struggle with intricate maneuvers, requiring you to fine-tune your strategies, which makes the experience even more rewarding for dedicated players. Hearts of Iron 4 is a must-play for anyone who loves deep, historically rooted strategy games and wants to rewrite World War II in their own style. Desperados III is a masterclass in real-time tactics, set in the Wild West, where you control a team of distinct characters with unique abilities to tackle complex, stealth-driven missions. As a spiritual successor to the classic Commandos series, it requires precise planning and offers a ton of freedom in how you complete each mission. The standout feature is Showdown Mode, which lets you pause the action to set up coordinated attacks, allowing all team members to execute commands simultaneously. This mode is immensely satisfying, especially when you see a perfectly synchronized plan come together. The characters themselves, from the gunslinging John Cooper to the voodoo-wielding Isabel, bring a lot of personality and varied strategies to the game. Isabel's mind control abilities, for instance, add a supernatural twist to this Western tale, letting you manipulate enemies to your advantage. Desperados III keeps you on your toes with its challenging environments and intricate level design, making each mission feel like a puzzle to solve. Whether you prefer stealthy approaches or chaotic gunfights, the game caters to your style while remaining intensely engaging. Desperados III is a must-play for tactics enthusiasts looking for a rich, rewarding experience. Crusader Kings III combines deep strategy with RPG elements, creating a truly immersive experience in medieval dynasty building. The game lets you step into the shoes of a ruler, where the goal isn't just to conquer lands, but to build a lasting dynasty through alliances, marriages, and intricate political maneuvers. Every character in your court is unique, with personality traits that shape their decisions and interactions, adding a real sense of drama. The stress system adds another layer, as your ruler's mental state can impact events, encouraging you to keep your character's actions aligned with their personality. The game's balance between complex politics and military strategy is impressive, allowing for both large-scale conquests and quiet moments where your main concern might be which vassal to trust or how to secure an heir. This attention to detail, especially with the new 3D character models and a revamped tutorial, makes Crusader Kings III accessible yet endlessly replayable. Whether you're navigating betrayal or plotting against rivals, the game's dynamic events and modding support ensure no two playthroughs feel the same. Against the Storm is a fresh take on city building, blending roguelike mechanics with strategic settlement management. Set in a dark fantasy world plagued by constant rainfall, the game tasks you with building and maintaining multiple cities for the Queen, while managing limited resources and navigating random events. What sets it apart is the roguelike twist. Each settlement is temporary, adding a layer of tension and strategy, since you're constantly forced to adapt and rebuild from scratch. The procedurally generated world, along with unique biomes and unpredictable glade events, keeps the gameplay dynamic and challenging, making each session feel new. The balance between catering to the Queen's demands and keeping your villagers happy adds complexity, as poor management can lead to rebellion or worse. If you're into strategy games that require quick thinking and adaptability, Against the Storm's unique setup and replayability make it a top pick. Offworld Trading Company takes the real-time strategy genre in a fresh direction, emphasizing economics over military conflict. Set on Mars, this game revolves around building an industrial empire through supply and demand tactics rather than armies and warfare. You'll be juggling resource production, stock prices, and fluctuating market demands, all while fending off competitors in an unpredictable economy. What makes the game especially engaging is its use of the free market. Everything you and your rivals do impacts the market, pushing you to adapt your strategy constantly. The game's interface is clean, which keeps the focus on planning rather than micromanagement, making it both accessible and deep. Multiplayer is where Offworld Trading Company shines, bringing cutthroat competition and opportunities for sabotage through tools like EMPs and pirates. These black market tactics add a thrilling edge to the otherwise straightforward economic gameplay. Plus, the game's AI in single-player mode is sharp enough to make every campaign replayable and challenging, especially as you experiment with different strategies and factions. Offworld Trading Company is an inventive take on strategy gaming that rewards flexibility, adaptability, and a keen sense of market dynamics.